All right. Start Your Life Nation, Isogenics Nation. We are live here on the Google Hangout. So great for you to join us. I'm here reporting from the world headquarters here in Chandler, Arizona. I've been across the planet, like in the last 2 weeks. I've been in Vietnam, been everywhere. I got Kirsten Herrera here, who's going to be monitoring the questions tonight.
Woo!
Rockstar. And of course, we have our. I just got cue from Jessica that we are live, good to go. And of course, we have our Rockstar specialists tonight, ambassadors of the Start generation, people I love so much, Isogenics millionaires, Emily and Hayden Bavra. What's happening?
What's going on?
What's up?
What's up, Start?
Hey, everybody.
Live from Minneapolis. Where's Hugo at?
Oh yeah, got him right here.
He's chewing on my
sidekick.
He's chewing on my whiteboard marker.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes,
He's gonna start drawing out you plus two, them plus two real quick.
that's right.
He's got it down.
That's awesome. So you guys doing well?
We're doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing awesome. I mean, it's cold here, but it's hot in the office. It's hot on the phone lines. It's hot on Facebook. Things are cranking up.
It is. It is. So we've got people literally calling in, dialing in. Not really calling in. We've got this thing live on StartYourLife.com. If you're viewing this right now, we want to make this interactive. I know many people posted their questions to the Facebook page, the Start Facebook page. So, and really why we are doing these Start Talks is that so you can ask these questions in an intimate setting with some of the Start ambassadors and get your questions answered. The first one we did with Zach and Ian was a huge hit. And if you're watching right now, you should see a link on the bottom left of your screen that says if you want to join the conversation. And you can actually click on that, and you'll have to log into your Gmail account, and you have to actually ask us questions live. And Kirsten will be fielding those questions. If we can get to some of those, we will. But right now, we're going to kind of tackle some that were posted on the Facebook page. So we're excited to get into that, and we're going to be running these Start Talks on the first Monday of every month. So we'll be doing this the first Monday of next month of January. And so this is our second annual one with Emily and Hayden. And so I know that you guys just got back from Eric Warray's big event, the GoPro Recruiting Mastery. You guys were featured lead trainers up on the stage representing Isogenics, representing the movement of Start Your Life, and really representing the young generation panel of all of network marketing up there at Eric Warray's event. Can you guys just talk to us about maybe some highlights from that event, maybe a couple things that you learned and what that experience was like for you?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. First of all, it makes you so grateful for our culture in Isogenics. I've never been exposed to anything else besides Isogenics. Isogenics is my first and only network marketing company. So walking into this, I didn't know what to think. And I was really just open mind, open heart. I was so excited to learn from so many different people. They set it up like TED Talks, so there was little 18-minute talks. We got to hear from so many different people, took away tons of nuggets, validating our profession. You know, we got to see the documentary premiere of The Rise of the Entrepreneur, which is so huge, you guys. If you haven't viewed it yet, this is so important for our profession. There is people, Robert Kiyosaki, Paul Zane-Pilzer, world-leading economists, Harry Dent, backing our profession and saying it's the thing to do. And it really just validated everything we're doing, the mission we're on, and then going on stage and sharing our story and what we've accomplished thus far and the lives we've been able to, you know, give back to and contribution and really make the big difference we are with those other young people on stage was so cool. To be able to collaborate backstage and realize that we go through the same things. We all lose our old friends, okay? We all have our mind games. We all are on a journey, and we're all just doing our best to, you know, walk each day to get better. But at the end of the day, when we got on the plane, we just we're so grateful for Isogenics, the people, the culture, you guys. Like, we are literally, our hearts were just like, whew. Wasn't everybody just whew? Like, we were just like so happy. So all in all, it was great. It really was.
The validation it offered was absolutely incredible. First of all, with that documentary, I mean, that validating the whole profession and having all of those different speakers, we really believe that that's going to be a huge component to, just continuing to educate the people that we're bringing into Isogenics, that we're bringing into START, that are being and a part of this movement to help validate that. And like Emily said, I mean, there was no better indication that we are absolutely 100% with the right company, with the right culture, with the right people. Every economist, Harry Dent, Paul Zane Pilsner, that got up there, they literally had to hold back from saying health and wellness is where it's at. And they couldn't help it. They kept flipping out over and over again, and we were just giving each other high fives.
The numbers, that's where the spending is.
Unbelievable.
That's where the spending is. And so much of the education was so great that we took away, but we don't convince people. Our product is so hands down, life-changing, amazing, that, Eric, that's really what Hayden and I were like, man, we don't have to do any of this snaky stuff because we have the best product. It's simply education. And so that part was just really awesome. So
that's so huge. And I know that Rise of the Entrepreneur video, I watched it. I think it's just a home run. And I would encourage everybody to go watch that documentary. I mean, especially because belief is such a huge component of building a successful Isogenics business. And one of the things that sometimes people struggle with is this profession, the industry, and building their belief in network marketing. And one of the greatest ways to build your belief is to really, I believe, go watch that documentary, watch it over and over again, and hear from all these incredible people about, how just them validating how this is kind of that business of the 21st century and a way to, a better way, as Eric Worre talks about. Do you guys know where the best way to find that documentary?
If you go to risemovie.com, that is the best spot to find it. I know he had it able to view for free for a few days, and I think now you can either rent it from there or you can purchase DVDs and stuff like that. They're like $5 or something like that. So that's the best spot to go get it.
Okay, perfect, good stuff. So we're going to get into the questions here. This first question is from Betsy McKeeman. So if you're watching, what's going on, Betsy? We got your question here. First question for Emily and Hayden is, when you're building an Isogenics business, whether it be full-time or part-time, a lot of people want to know, how are you kind of scheduling your days? And she wants to know, how do you schedule your time for prospecting, following up, enrolling, and coaching and mentoring? So, I mean, what areas of the day are you doing certain activities? Maybe what percentages are you spending most time prospecting, or what percentage of time are you doing follow-up and then coaching and mentoring? What does that kind of typical day look like for you guys?
Yes. So we are huge components of the calendar. We used to be old school and writing on a piece of paper and doing it that way, but we found out that Google Calendar is absolutely amazing. So we have it shared. I see her stuff, she sees my stuff. It helps us hold each other accountable. But at the same time, we put in all the really important stuff. If we have family events coming up, if we have, all that stuff for parents, kids recitals, practices, all that really important stuff, especially if you're building part-time. And then looking at how many hours are you going to devote each day to Isogenics or each week, okay? And now filling those blocks. And we teach our team to work in 15-minute time blocks because we really believe that anybody can focus on something for 15 minutes. So how those 15-minute time blocks are broken up is what we call our income-producing activities. So that's prospecting, enrolling, following up with people, and following through with people. And I would say about 75 to 80% of the time is, even for us, is still spent on that alone, because that is really the lifeblood of your business. You constantly need to be reaching out to new people, adding new people to your team, helping them bring others onto their team, and then that other 20%, maybe 25% is really spent coaching your team and helping elevate them to the next level. But it's still, the majority is always spent prospecting, enrolling, following up, and teaching others to do the same.
Absolutely, and I recommend no matter what level you're at in the business that you keep that the main thing. So no matter what, our daily method of operation, for us, we get up in the morning, we work out, we have our shake, we do our, for us it's read our Bible or meditate or whatever thing that we're doing that day, and then we jump into our DMO. And how that looks, the very first thing, before we scroll on Facebook, before we do any of that stuff, I may have a status or something saved to post, but I'm not even kidding, because you can really waste time. You got to protect your time. You're building your legacy. So what we do is we make sure every single day, who have I told the Isogenic story to? Who have I reached out to? 3 people a day, 5 days a week. And before you do anything, before you go, manage people or try to help somebody get to people, before you do anything, it needs to become a habit in your business. And that's really where we have become super consistent. We enroll naturally 1 to 2 a week every week because we just stay so consistent, and we're constantly casting a line. And if I see somebody on my Facebook account who's not in Isogenics, they'd be great, and it's not my time to reach out and share Isogenics with them and set the appointment, I write their name down. If I'm on LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, he'd be great, write his name down. If I'm leaving the gym, get his number, write his name down. And then in the morning, first thing, do the things that are the most difficult for you first. That's what I learned in this business, because used to procrastinate that. I would scroll Facebook. I would think of more cool statuses to write. Oh my goodness, who else can I call and fire up today? That's what I would do. I would play all these games. All of a sudden, Hayden was doing the laundry, and we realized, what are we doing? No, get back to the basics. That's got to be the very first thing you do. You feel fulfilled. You got some no's, no big deal, and you just go on. And that is what's going to make you extremely successful if you keep the main thing, no matter how small or big your organization gets.
Yeah, especially with the Crystal Director Reset coming up at the end of this week.
Yes.
You can't get stuck on people. You need to constantly be reaching out to new people, because really the ultimate goal is getting to executive. And if you're focused on that, you're going to blow right past the Crystal Director. So.
Yeah, no, that's... I love all that. Now, when you say tackle the difficult things first, from what I got there, is that what you mean by prospecting, calling new people, all that stuff?
Yes. I mean, we don't wake up and we're not excited to just prospect people, if you want to call it. Reach out to people. It's constantly something you have to talk yourself into, and when you get something like that done at the beginning of your day, everything else is a breeze. And I would guess for 99% of the people watching this right now, prospecting is probably the least favorite thing to do.
Probably.
Everybody wants to be coaching. Everybody wants to do that because it's fun. It's fun to uplift others and do that stuff, but you have to be prospecting people at all times and remaining consistent in that, because that's where that consistency is going to come with those enrollments coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's huge. I think that if you talk amongst all the leaders in Isogenics, if there's one thing that's common amongst all of them, they are always keeping the main thing, as you said. They're talking to at least 3 new people a day, which actually, it's not that hard to do, but it's a lot easier not to do it, and that's why most people just choose not to do it. But if we just get consistent with that, sharing that message over time, I mean, imagine if you've got 10, 20, 30 people that have locked arms in that vision with you of sharing the message 3 times a day, 5 days a week. I mean, that's eventually that message is going to land on some good people. So, and I know you mentioned something about 2 a week. That was actually another question that came in. I believe it was from Mike Harley, and he wanted to know what your kind of personal enrollment target was every single month or every single week. And has that changed at all since when you first started, or is it always like 2 a week, 8 a month? What does that kind of look like?
So we are all about being extremely consistent, and so even from the very beginning, the goal was always two a week. For the first point of that, it's remaining consistent, but secondly, that's how you take advantage of all the double pips.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between 1 enrollment and 2 enrollments a week is quadrupling your bonus. Okay, so when you stay consistent with at least 2 a week, that's always our goal. But does it always happen? No. But it is always our goal. And what I constantly remind people to be mindful of is you have to be consistent, more so consistent in your activity to have that consistency with those actual enrollments. So when you're focused on the consistency of the activity, so reaching out to 3 new people a day, 5 times a week, or whatever it is for your goals, that's where that consistency in enrollments begins to follow through. And over the period of your whole business, you'll see that some weeks it'll be 0, but because you remain consistent in the activity, you might have 6 enrollments one week, or 10 enrollments one week, or whatever. The only time it really changes is at the beginning of a 90-day game plan, when we might be contacting 5, 10 new people a day and really reaching out to more people because we're trying to get those 20 enrollments in 30 days. And so that's the only time it would change, but it is always our goal, 2 people a week. 2 people a week. Absolutely.
And playing off on that, I love that because we can handle 2 people a week, because we're not just enrolling people in Isogenics to enroll them. We want them to have the best experience possible. We want to be the Nordstrom, of Isogenics. We want to take care of our people, give them the whole vision, walk with them step by step with how far they want to take this, and we need to be available in order to do that. So we find that number for us is pretty good to be able to take care of them.
Perfect. Love that. I think 2 a week is a great goal for everybody, and I really like that. 3 new people a day you're sharing Isogenics with 5 days a week. I think that's manageable for everybody. Now, there was a question that came in from, let's see, this was from Crystal Lynn. And so, hello, Crystal, if you're watching. I know that you guys are big with Team Vision Cast, and that's how you really branded yourself. And I know that's kind of been an evolution. And so let's say you're spending your time 80-90% of your time doing the main thing. How do you guys go about sharing your vision with other people? Like when you're talking to them, prospecting them. What is that? Because I know there's been this big shift in Isogenics about, you want to really lead with your vision, lead with, an inclusive why. How do you go about sharing that with people and enrolling them into the Team Vision Cast vision?
Yeah, totally. One of my favorite things is sharing the vision. It really is. And a part of that is our personal story and where we've come from. And our vision has evolved as we've evolved as people, and it continues to evolve. But just the other day, I was at the airport, and we were coming back from Las Vegas, and I bumped into a gentleman, and we just started talking outside of the bathroom, and he asked what we were doing in Vegas. Were you gambling? I'm like, no, not exactly. And I just started to share with them what we did, and I said, we're part of a movement. We're helping families just like your own, because he told me I'm racing home to see my 2 little boys. So I was listening to him talking, and I said, I'm a part of a movement. My husband and I help men just like you spend more time with your little boys. That's what we do, and we do that through an amazing company. Can I send you more information on it? And I really didn't say too much because it was passing outside of the bathroom, whatever, but I got to his heart, and I already got an email from him basically sharing what we do for men just like himself, helping stay home with his sons, you know, because obviously he was like dreading you standing in the airport trying to get home to his kids. So I wanted to share with him and capture the vision a little bit that way. For young people, I mean, that's huge for you when you talk to young people with the college debt thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big part of our story and sharing that vision. And that's, I was reading one of my favorite books, the world's #1 bestseller, and it talks about, you know, where there is no vision, the people will perish. And so that after, I mean, we didn't have Vision Cast right away, but after we've continued to evolve in the Isagenix business and growing ourselves, we realized how important of a component that was. Because if people don't have that vision, if they don't, and sometimes we need to cast it for others. They might not see it for themselves yet, but if you're planting those seeds of greatness and you're planting those seeds of, you know, what is really possible, you know, like Emily said, we help people just like you spend more time with your kids, spend more time with your boys, whatever it may be, whatever it is for that person, but they need to see that vision of that being possible. And so it's not something we did right away because we're all about keeping the main thing, but as our team began to grow and continue to grow, we needed something else to be, you know, something more to be a part of. I guess a subculture of the greatness of what Isagenix is and everything that it represents, but we needed a way to hone in our team and have another, you know, something more powerful to be a part of.
Yeah, and in our meetings, you know, we're casting that vision to every type of person in the world, whether they have kids, whether they're single, whether they've been broken their whole life. I mean, it's all these different people, and we're casting a vision and pouring hope inside of them and letting them know you can do this too. Here's what your life could look like. What if? What if? What if? It is possible for you. It is possible for you. So it's we're constantly casting a vision, and they leave and they feel so good, and they feel like somebody cared enough about me to tell me about this. Somebody cared enough about me to change the course of my life, and that's why we're so passionate about Team Vision Cast, because we're just giving hope to the hopeless, and we're just constantly just pouring it in, and they leave there. I don't care. Yes, I want everyone to do Isagenix, but I just want them to know that they can do more, be more, have more. You know?
That is so powerful. I think that there's obviously a lot of people out there, you know, looking for us, and you know, it just takes that courage to, like you said, kind of listen to what the person is, understand where they're coming from. Like you said, this person wanted to spend more time maybe at home with his kids, and kind of catering, you know, how the vehicle for Isagenix can really create their vision and their reality for them. Because, you know, if you're talking to somebody that's 50 years old or something like that, and you're talking about, well, I'm forming this team, a movement of young people that are freeing themselves physically and financially, that person may not be that interested. But if you're getting to the core of what kind of excites him and what he's looking for, and showing him a way that Isagenix can allow him to achieve all that, that's where I think the magic is. So I think it's right. It's not about having one specific, you know, it's good to have your vision, but you got to kind of cater and enroll people in their own vision, and how Isagenix can kind of facilitate that.
Absolutely, because Isagenix is a vehicle, and I'm all about keeping things extremely simple, and you'll hear me say all the time, Isagenix is food. Everybody eats food. Okay, so what's going to be your vehicle to be able to supply that vision that you have, or whatever it is that you want? Isagenix is that vehicle. Everybody's going to be taking it. Everybody's going to be using it. We have solutions that are truly transforming lives. So I think some people overcomplicate it sometimes, and like we keep saying, the main thing needs to be the main thing.
Good. Well, I know one of the other main things is, and this is tag teaming a question along with what Crystal was asking about, but I know one of your main things, and a huge main thing with Isagenix, is events. And I know that you all build your whole business and your team, getting people to events. You have your Timeout Tuesdays, where it's all about, like you said, casting the vision, showing people a better way. I know that, I mean, for maybe the new person, they may not be armed and equipped to, run a whole Timeout Tuesday. But I know Timeout Tuesday didn't just happen when you first started. It was an evolution. It maybe started out as launch party. So can you maybe give some input on if there's somebody out there that's new, that's wanting to host their own event or their own launch party? What are kind of some guidelines, some steps on how you empower your team to host their own event or their own launch party?
Yeah. Okay, so launch parties, we use them all the time. They are what they say they are. They are to launch somebody's business. So it's not going to be something that you are doing at your house every Tuesday night. They are made to be mobile and go into your new teammate's house. Okay, let's launch your business. Let's do a launch party there. Okay, you have 4 or 5 people. Maybe you do 3 or 4 launch parties for them or with them. Okay, but during that process, it's also a time for you to develop that new person. Okay, so maybe they get up and they intro the room, and then they intro you, and they share their story. They share their testimony with what Isagenix has done for them, what Isagenix means to them. Okay, so now you're starting to develop a leader. And then from that launch party, you say, okay, who wants to do a launch party next week or in 2 weeks? I'd love to help you get your products paid for. And then from there, you're setting up another launch party. So it starts really small. And when we started even moving into more of an opportunity as our team began to grow, sometimes there was 4 people that would show up. Sometimes it was a secret meeting and nobody would show up. And we'd give each other a high five and then just go call some people and make the best out of it. And we'd still reach out to people, and it wouldn't just be something that, it wasn't a failure, it was a learning experience. Mm-hmm. And we did that. Maybe if it was people that have already been to 14 opportunity meetings, then we turned it into a business training. Okay, so everything that we did, it kept evolving a little bit. But the point of it was staying consistent. So if you're doing launch parties, do one, make sure you have one going on in your team every single week. You're remaining consistent. And from there, it's going to keep growing. I mean, you see the pictures all the time in the start group of, Audrey Moss, for example, having all of a sudden there's 20 people over at the house and 30 people over at the house. Now they got to move into a big room. That's a great problem to have, right? And so it starts small, and know that sometimes nobody might show up. Okay, but that's okay. That's part of it. You make the best out of it. Maybe then that turns into, a blitz night, and you start calling people with the people that are there. Okay, but it starts small, and then it continues to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And every opportunity, it's also a chance to develop your leaders by maybe you have, that new person come up. They've been doing the business. They're vested. They share about the 5 pillars. Okay, or they take 5 slides from the presentation. So it's not always you, but it's a chance for you to develop your team and continue developing those leaders to really create that team of freedom go-getters.
Yeah. Yeah. And something I just want to share, when I got started, we were blessed to have a mentor who's an Isagenix millionaire, Holly DeMott, and she lived here in Minneapolis. And we started to do opportunity meetings, and she rented out a little space, and sometimes 3 people would come, sometimes no one would come, sometimes we'd have 10. It was really cool when we had 10. And then she fulfilled her dream of hitting her achievement with her business, and she moved to Scottsdale. And so now little Emily was over here like, oh, well, guess we can't do opportunity meetings anymore. Holly's gone. And no. I had to look myself in the mirror, I had to look at my goals, and I had to ask myself, how bad do you want to do this? How bad do you want to be a leader? How bad do you want it? And so right then and there, I knew success waits for no one. Mm-hmm. If I have the vision, then that's enough. That's enough if you have the vision. So I put that inside and put my armor on and started to invite people over. And slowly inviting people over turned into a lot of people because they caught my vision, they caught my fire. And then we moved into a small area. And then now we've moved buildings 4 times, it feels like.
In the last year.
In the last year, 4 times. And we've created a local team, a local movement, a local place that people can come and get ignited. But it's something I want to stress to you is that started with a decision. It really did. I mean, it wasn't easy. I could have easily hung it up and waited for somebody else to start the meetings. And I could have tagged along with their team. But I knew if I want to do this, I got to lead. I have to do it. And so I just did it.
I mean, there's so many nuggets in that. The first thing, I think that it's so important for people to know that, like, even you guys had events where nobody showed up, because I know there's, you see it all the time that people, they want to host their launch party and then nobody will show up, and it's just a natural thing that happens in the profession. And I always tell people, if that happens, like, just do the presentation anyway, and just imagine that there's floods of people lining up your staircase and everything like that, and you're acting as if that's happened, and you're just honing your presentation skills. You're getting better. And so but I think that's so important for everybody to know that, like, even you guys, nobody showed up at your events. And like you said, I love what you're saying about empowering leaders. I mean, it's not the Emily and Hayden show up there. You're forcing your team to get up there and open the room, and empowering them to do the 5 pillars, and empowering them to maybe do you plus 2, them plus 2, getting your products paid for. That way, when if you guys are out of town, you leave, Timeout Tuesday, the launch parties, all that stuff still happens because you've empowered and stepped your leaders really into leadership roles.
Yep.
I mean, that's massive. Now, Emily, you said something, you were inviting people to launch parties all the time. Can you just maybe touch on what the best way is to kind of invite somebody to a launch party, or like how you go about inviting somebody to an event? Because I think people always kind of struggle with that. That I see a lot of time on the start page, it's kind of like, do I send flyers out? Do I call people? How do you?
Oh my gosh!
Don't send flyers out.
No.
I see you guys.
That's the easy way to do it, and it doesn't work.
Everybody still wants to do it when they're like, I know you say it doesn't work, but I'm gonna print off 1,000 flyers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I told you no. So, okay, you guys, this is so personal, and I think of even myself, especially on Facebook, you can invite people to stuff. I have like 60 pending event requests. I don't even look at them for 1,000 different parties, okay? That's not personal. So one of the most amazing things about this business is you should always be working off a list. It's so simple. Even when you're getting people to take a look at Isagenix, you're doing the same thing. It's a different form. You're getting them to come to your launch party. You're getting them to come to your home party, your opportunity meeting, whatever you want to call it. So, what I recommend doing is shooting a text to them. And we find over and over again, people will text us back, but they won't call us back. So I'll send them a text, and ask them, hey, are you available to chat? I got something I want to share with you. I'll just say it's so simple, and get on the phone, catch up with them, and let them know what we've got going on. And then I'll tell them, we're having people over tomorrow night. I know it's short notice. I thought of you, because you are so good at working with people. You are so positive, and I can't sleep at night knowing that I didn't share this with you. I want you to come check it out. Please just come check it out. If you don't like it, I'll never talk to you about it again. And I'm really straight with people like that, and compliment them if they deserve to be complimented. So I'll invite them that way. If I don't have their cell phone number, I'll private message them on Facebook with a private individual message. Please don't copy and paste your message without having a personal touch to it. You guys, people want to feel important. If you're inviting somebody to your home, why? Why are you inviting them into your business anyways? Compliment them. Hey, I was just perusing your Facebook page. It looks like you're really busy. Your family is beautiful. Oh my gosh, you have 3 girls now. I actually work with so many women just like you that are feeling absolutely incredible. They're putting superfoods in their body, but they're also helping their family earn an extra income. You would be so perfect at this. If I sent you more details, would you come over? Would you come on down? And have that with people, and really really give them positive words and mean it. Go to their page, and there's times where people are on my list and I see things out of character, and I'll just be straight with you, I cross them off my list because they're your business partners. So that's how I invite people. Private message on Facebook, try to get their cell phone number as soon as I can. If I have a chance, I will call them, invite them. That goes a long way. I love leaving voicemails. I do that a lot, text message. But I do not rely on a post on my Facebook page. I do not rely on, hey, Timeout Tuesday is Tuesday night, you should be there, message me. I don't rely on that. My team knows if it's Monday or Tuesday, Emily is following up with her list, and yep, the millionaire still has 4 new people walking into Timeout Tuesday because she did her job. I mean, that's truly the way it goes, and it's all by personal inviting.
That's huge. I mean, just always leading by example, and I just love that, like having the importance of having a consistent, whether it be a launch party, a Timeout Tuesday, a Wellness Wednesday, every week. So you're just kind of always building into that. You're always inviting people to that, and it becomes kind of a staple within what you do, and it just makes so much sense to kind of have the event do the work. And I love that idea of just that text message, just to kind of open the door of, hey, hey, so and so, would love to catch up. I got something that I want to tell you about that I'm so excited about. I think that's a great way to kind of do that lead in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. This actually came in from Zach Slobin, and I know this is such a common question, but I think it's so huge because it's such a frequent thing that happens. Let's say you post something on your Facebook status that maybe perks some curiosity, perks some interest, and somebody is interested. What does it kind of look like for you to kind of take, once somebody's interested, do a private message to a phone conversation? Like, what is that going from online to offline? What does that conversation look like on Facebook?
Yeah, it is always our goal to get it off of Facebook as fast as possible, because, and we've made the mistake many times of messaging back and forth, and you end up wasting so much time, and then people really drag their feet. But when you can get them on the phone, or you can get them face-to-face, if they're in our area, we love to get face-to-face, because then they can really see your passion. They can really see how serious you are. They can really see how real it is. It's not just something you're dabbling in, or you're just posting there and hoping somebody bites the line or whatever it is. You're really serious about it. So how a conversation might look is, hey, I noticed you liked my Facebook post and you were interested in learning a little bit more about Isogenics, or they've shown interest in learning more about Isogenics. I would love to send you some links, but what I really want to do so I can best support you is, could we get on the phone so I can get your goals and I can see what you really want out of this so I can best support you? Or I would love to meet one-on-one. Hey, can we catch up and meet at the coffee shop? I want to best support your goals and help you achieve those. Okay, so they know that you are serious. I think that getting right to that point, some people try to dance around it with it. They try to just stay comfortable behind the computer screen, send links back and forth, and it's great. It's great to get that information, but delivering it face-to-face or delivering it over the phone, or saying, hey, getting on the phone and walking them through a video, or getting on the phone and walking them through a link, or an article on isogenicshealth.net or whatever it may be, it's going to go so much further. So it literally takes asking that question. Hey, I would love to send you a bunch more information, or I would love to, keep going back and forth, but what I really want to do is get you on the phone so I can best support you, so I can best, learn your goals, write them down, so that I can really know what the best system for you is to start on, or what the best route is for you to start growing your business based on your vision, based on your goals. That's what we do. There's not really a secret formula. I would say it's really just asking, and And another thing is, if it is somebody that kind of dabbles around at it, because there are those people too, like, I don't want to give you my phone number, or no, I don't want to meet face to face, and I simply just stop and say, hey, we're very serious about what we do. If you are really serious about reaching your health goals and your financial goals, you know, we need to meet up. We need to talk, because that's how this is done. That's how this is best done. And so with people that dabble around like that, you got to squash it early and say, hey, I'm serious about this. I want to know if you're serious about this. You know, let's get on the phone. Let's get face to face. Let's get belly to belly.
Yeah, that's just so much posture right there. I love that. I think Hugo likes that a lot too.
Yeah, he's pretty fired up about that.
Hugo gets really fired up about that. He wants to give you a high five. There he is.
Yay! Hey, Eric, just playing off of that, from day one, even when I was cycling 1 time a week, I learned this actually from Chris Harder when he used to work in the mortgage industry. And he told me one time, he said, Emily, you teach people how to treat you, you know, by your posture and by what you allow. So when you sit behind Facebook all day and you're waiting for them to you know, say that they're ready to sign up, you know, that you look desperate. You can even like sense it when you know somebody's just hanging out there all day. So what I started to do, even right away, I would say to people, hey, you know what? I am super busy getting people started. It has been a really busy day. However, I have time at 8 p.m. or I could squeeze you in at 9:15. Either of those two work for you tonight. It's just been so hectic, loving it. Oh, I mean, people are like, can you get me in at the 8 o'clock time? I mean, like, I'm not even kidding. People want to work with somebody who's successful. Have posture. Never make them know that you're, first of all, you shouldn't be sitting behind the computer screen all day anyway. You should be calling your list, but never make them feel like, oh, she's just sitting there waiting for me, and you answer back their question that they have about the shakes or whatever right away. You know, have that posture with them. You know, demand a little respect, because you're a business owner, and you'll get it. You'll get it tenfold back.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's important for all of us to remember too that it's us that have the gift of isogenics.
Exactly.
I mean, we have this gift that can bless people, and we should have a lot of posture with that. And sometimes we forget that. It's kind of like, oh, this person's doing me a favor because they're actually listening to me. No, we're doing them a big favor because we got a gift that can transform their whole life. So I think that's huge. I want to go to one real quick live question we had from Joyce Wright Pierce. So what's going on, Joyce? Thanks for your question. She wants to ask here, can you achieve the same success if your team is all over the nation by using Skype or webinars instead of in-home presentations? So, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Joyce, great question. So we do webinars all the time because we need to support those people that aren't in our local area as well. And so with that, we have a lot of people that use them kind of as a launch party. So they'll just plug the webinar into the TV and they get to hear us live. But what we also do is we'll Skype into launch parties. Okay, and why we do that is it adds validation. So much of what we do in Isogenics is just adding validation. That's why we do three-way calls. That's why we have the tools. That's why, you know, we have this new documentary. That's why we have all these things, because it adds that validation. I could say the same exact thing that Eric says to his cousin, but his cousin's not going to listen to him because they're cousins. But then I say some stranger, some weird guy says the same thing, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so genius, right? And we see it happen all the time, but we Skype into launch parties because it adds that validation. And at the same time, it's enabling you to empower those other team members that, you know, aren't in your local markets, because we have people all over the country. We have people all over the world now that, you know, we utilize that technology, and webinars and Skype are a huge part of that.
And that's why the Isogenics corporate events are so powerful for you. When you have team all over the place, you pick an event, which always should be New Year kickoff and celebration, but you can pick ICUs in between, you can pick university and actions, and you build towards those events. We love every 90 days to build towards an event, and then your whole team meets together on one location, and then you can collaborate, have your team stuff, whatever. Actually more powerful. I really believe that. Yep. And then once you hit your goals and you give your leaders benchmarks and goals as they're building their organizations, you can tell them, hey, once you get to 1 star, I will fly out and support you. I will do a meeting with you, when your means are right to do that. And that's what we do for our other leadership that's all over the world now. Okay, let's have you get to this goal. Let's do that much through virtual world, 3-way calls. Once you get there, we'll come out. So it's a write-off. It's great. You're blessed. You get to travel more. It's fun. So it's a good thing. You're going to empower more people faster, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. So yeah, utilizing technology is massive. I think Skyping into in-homes is huge. I know I do it all the time, and it's just so much fun. It's amazing what technology can do. I mean, look at us right now. Google Hangouts, baby. You got to like this.
Oh, this is great.
Hundreds of viewers watching live from U.S., Canada, Australia. It's exciting. I know we've only got a couple minutes left, but everybody always wants to know about books and stuff like that. So tell us what books you guys are reading right now, or any books for you that you felt like have really made a big impact in your life.
Yeah, so the first book that I think for both of us for sure really made a huge impact, because we really believe people need to see a big picture. They need to have the belief that they can have, all the abundance that this world offers. And so that book was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. We all have this financial blueprint that is going to hold us back. And if you're, young, I came out of college doing this right away. I had $5 in my bank account at one time, and that was because I had to have $5 to have a bank account. Otherwise, it would have been negative. Okay, so you have to be able to grow your mind and expand your mind, and that was one of them. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Right now, this is the book I'm reading. Right here by Tony Robbins. Money, Master the Game. Okay. Great book. I was telling Eric before, I have to stop reading it just so I can soak in all of the goodness. So you kind of hold yourself back a little bit. That's one of them we're reading.
Yeah. So Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, that was the very first book I ever read on personal development whatsoever. Totally elevated my mind. We don't even have it here because we give it out every single time to a new business builder. People just have their minds just go off reading that book. Skills, though, for your network marketing skills, definitely go pro. You should read this book 10 times. Highlight. It will help you learn how to speak to people, how to set appointments. So for skills, and then I love Tony Dungy. I love The Mentor Leader. This is another really great book that I read, and then The 4 Agreements. Okay, I'm just going to put these away, I promise. And then
that's my favorite book all time.
This reminds me of you, Eric. Every time I see it, it reminds me of you. This is amazing. And then for us, honestly, it's just coming back to our faith and doing devotions in the good books. So that's we're always reading something.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great. I know people are always interested in what the top leaders are reading, and just always investing and growing in themselves. I think that's huge. We just had a question come in from Zach Slobe, and he says, seriously, how is it that you two are so really, really ridiculously good looking?
Well, I wake up every morning, and I have this picture on my mirror of this guy named Zach Slobin, and I just try to emulate that in that reflection, and that's what comes out sometimes. So that's probably why he thinks that.
I love
it. I love it. He's the most interesting man in network marketing.
He is. He's so smart. I could just listen to him talk forever. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know. It's like a big party in his brain all the time. I just can never keep up with it. We love you, Zach and Eden.
We love you guys.
So we'll wrap up with one question. I always like to ask this question to everybody. It's, if somebody at the beginning of your journey, this is such a journey, and you learn so much along the way about yourself, about, what works, what doesn't work. What's maybe that one thing that if somebody were to whisper in your ear saying, at the beginning of your journey that you wish you would have had whispered in your ear, the piece of advice, what would you kind of say that one thing is?
I wish somebody would have said, just be yourself. Just be you. Just light up yourself. Like, you don't have to be somebody else. Because for a while when I got into it, I thought I had to dress a certain way, and I thought I was just trying to be somebody I wasn't. And then when I realized just be you, and I just started to peel off these masks, and I'm still working on it every day, it's so freeing. And you have nothing to lose if you're just yourself. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. It's just amazing. I wish I would have heard that right away.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the only profession in the world where you just be the best version of yourself, and you're going to be successful. You're going to attract others just that same way. But one of my biggest, I don't know, in the beginning, I wish I would have taken this to heart more or heard it even sooner, but David Wood says it all the time, but it's stop taking advice from broke and unhappy people.
I love it.
The worst advice in the world, and it will hold you back, and that doesn't mean you don't love them or anything like that. You still love them, but if you're trying to do something greater, if you're trying to be successful, whatever that level is for you, just stop taking advice from broken, unhappy people, because they have no clue. And you know what? I mean,
love them anyway.
You love them anyways, but you get to choose, what you want to believe. And success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, you have to listen to successful people. You have to read those books. You have to hang out with successful people. You have to surround yourself with other people that want to contribute more, with other people that want to add value to people's lives. You can't just sit around and talk about all this garbage. Man, this guy's going crazy. You can't just,
use your vibration.
But that was one of the biggest pieces of advice is you got to stop. Just stop. Love them, but they're not going where you're going. You're going to the top. They can't do anything about it.
I think that quote that David says is stuck with me so much, and it's resonated with so many people. It's kind of like if somebody's bashing you or, giving you advice, maybe against Isogenics or whatever, it's kind of like really sitting back and saying, is this person really, really rich, and is this person really, really happy?
Yeah.
And if they're not, then why would you ever want to take advice from them anyway? And most of the time you find that if somebody's rich and happy, even though Isogenics may not be for them, they're going to say, you go for it. You pursue your dream, you go for it. I mean, I know I've talked to a lot of successful people that want nothing to do with Isogenics or network marketing, whatever. It may just not be for them, but they're encouraging, me. They're, saying go for it. I mean, so it's just we need to be careful who we take advice from. I think that's huge. So I just want to thank you guys on behalf of everybody tuning in. We just want to thank you for your love that you always give everyone and your incredible training tonight. I know I'm deeply inspired. I'm sure everybody's buzzing here in the start page and everybody listening live in Isogenics. We're just so grateful for your leadership, and we love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you.
All right, well, we are going to have these start talks on the first Monday of every single month. So the next one will be the first Monday of January. And so we'll be right after the holidays, getting ready to launch into New Year kickoff. So stay tuned to see who the next guest will be. We'll be posting that shortly. And I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. holidays. And we will see you next time on Start Talk. Good night, everyone. Another massive success. Yes.
Yay!
Signing over and out.